Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wake the hell up, turn the volume way up, because we've got today's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, and damn it, we're jam-packed today. I'm Matt Kobold, joined by Max Faulkner. Maxie, how's that basketball team you doing that you're coaching? How they doing right now?
Go Breezy, it ain't going too hot. All right. I've been super busy, by the way. Sorry everyone that I haven't been here, but luckily we have some good guys on a part of our staff, basically, that show up to fill in when needed. But yeah, I've been coaching this sixth grade team in Breezy. They have never played competitive basketball before. Okay, they're used to rec ball, which is literally just show up and shoot hoops with your friends. You know, it ain't no competitive middle school basketball. All right. So we got a lot of work to do, Breezy. But the only thing I'll get to say is I realize that I get to be the coach that teaches them that next level of basketball. So by the time they get to seventh grade, they're going to be competitive. Okay, eighth grade, they're when they move up, they're going to get really competitive, and they're starting to get really physical out there on the court. But right now we're just soft. You know, we're teddy bears. We're teddy bears. I'm going to be honest. They haven't hit that puberty yet, like some of the other teams that I've seen. The last game that we faced, they had four guys that had to be at least 5'10". At least 5'10".
That's some size.
The tallest guy that I have on my team, maybe 5'6", maybe 5'6". And I thought they were tall, for sixth grade. I was like, oh, we got some size. And then taking on these guys that are 5'10", 150 pounds.
That's like HGH at that level. If you haven't hit puberty yet, it's like guys are juicing when they have. Exactly. In sixth grade, when you got 5'10", geez, that's about my size. My goodness, that's up there. That's tough to do. But yeah, like I was saying, man, get him that triple threat position, like you said you're working with him on, and the ball handling sounds like you can't get it across half court sometimes. But yeah, when you're outsized and the guys are just more physical and just overall better, there's not much you can do as a coach, but just have fun with the guys, man. Just have fun with them, play some games, have them get better. And if they don't want to be there, they can quit. And nobody's forcing them to be there. But
True.
I know you're a great coach, and I'm excited to celebrate your first win.
I appreciate that, Breezy. Good advice there. Yeah, it's fun. And once again, I'm seeing the progress. We're getting Breezy, we're starting to get bruised up. All right. Because again, like these kids are soft. Like, and I don't mean that as a diss. I mean that as like, you poke them, it's soft. Just they don't have muscle on them.
Pillsbury. Pillsbury, go boys.
Yes. So it's fun to see them starting to develop and be a little more physical on the court. So yeah. What's going over there though, Breezy? Come on.
Sounds like they're already taking your words to heart. So great to hear, man. A lot of fun for sure. But me, I've been chilling, brother. Just been hanging out this week. Strep throat. Getting over some strep throat right now. So please excuse me if I'm coughing or my voice is cutting out today. But just been hanging out, taking it easy. Excited to talk some sports with you, brother.
Heck yeah, man. We got a fun lineup today, everybody. We got lots to talk about. Some fun breaking news, which we'll get right into.
Yeah, we got a lot of football, maybe some college basketball game picks at the end, but we're not sure about that. But like you said, Max, breaking news out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The University of North Carolina's football program has just hired Bill Belichick as its new head coach. The 72-year-old six-time Super Bowl winning coach has never held any official college coaching position in his nearly 5-decade-long career. He will be the oldest active FBS head coach next season. Max, how do you see Bill handling NIL, the transfer portal, and recruiting and coaching teenagers?
Interesting. I think he can handle kids. I think he's going to be okay. The kids are going to listen more than some of some of these meatheads and money grabbing and all these NFL players that they got such huge egos. It's not going to be that way in college sports. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to coach, honestly. Talent wise, we'll see, because North Carolina, like we said, Breezy, before, they're not really a football school. They're a big basketball school. Oh yeah. But hey, this is ACC. Okay, the Tar Heels, big time athletic program. I think that he can completely turn this program around, Breezy. I don't know much about UNC as far as what's going to happen in recruitment this next within this next year. I think he's going to turn the program around.
Yeah. I think it's a huge hire. I think it's a huge hire. I think it came out of left field. I wasn't expecting this. I think he's going to have his own team for the NIL to handle NIL things. I think he's going to have his own team to handle the transfer portal. No way is he going to be traveling around and trying and having bidding wars for guys and negotiations with guys. He's going to have his own people to do those things. I'm just shocked that no NFL team wants this guy. No NFL team is gonna offer him a position. Didn't he interview for the Atlanta Falcons job last year? Atlanta didn't want him. I don't get that, Max. Anything about that? I don't get that.
I definitely don't understand that. Why isn't like Vegas? Why aren't the Raiders looking for a guy that's won a Super Bowl 6 times? How about the Bears? Yeah, why aren't you looking at oh my goodness. That's a slap in the face right there, Cole Breezy. Me being a Bears fan.
The fact that Bill's obviously open about wanting to coach, and he's making himself available to coach, and now the NFL team is calling him. That shocks me. I heard maybe that the deal with North Carolina, once Bill is done coaching, a five-year contract, by the way, once he's done coaching, that the team will be handed off to his raccoon-looking son. That son that he has, it looks like a freaking raccoon or a beaver.
That mullet, that freaking.
I heard that it's gonna be handed over to him. So that might be a little situation why he took the North Carolina job. But yeah, our buddy Triple sent me something today about people worried about him, recruiting and interacting with teenagers. But Bill Belichick, his girlfriend, 24 years old. So
oh my gosh.
So let's not sleep on his ability to recruit that age range. Max, anything else on Coach Belichick going to Chapel Hill?
Totally forgot that his girlfriend's 24. Kind of gross.
24. He's 72.
Gross, yeah.
He's 72.
Pretty gross. This guy's gonna be coaching until he's 77. Oh my gosh, crazy. But it will be pretty cool to see if that maybe he can get this UNC team into the playoff maybe within the next couple of years. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen.
I'm going to say one playoff appearance here in the next 5 years. 5 years for the North Carolina Tar Heels. You going above or under one?
I'm gonna go one. I'm going one. Yeah. And that's only because once again UNC is just not a football school. Sure. I think he can turn it around though. That's all I got to say.
He's going to get a lot of guys to the NFL. All those connections he's got. Yeah. If you're going to North Carolina, it's because you want to get to the next level. He's going to have some talent there.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Let's talk some fantasy football here, Maxie. This sports podcast started as a fantasy football podcast, and we haven't talked a lot of fantasy here lately. So let's get into a couple big performances from last week. We have 3 Hades, 3-headed dogs to talk about. That's when a player gets in the end zone 3 times. 3 of them here, Max. First guy, quarterback Josh Allen at the Rams in a 44-42 loss. That was a great game. He threw for 22 for 37 passing for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Now, quarterbacks aren't in this category a lot because we don't count those passing touchdowns. Josh Allen gets in here this week because he rushed 10 times for 82 yards and 3 more scores.
My goodness.
Second quarterback in this category this season, along with your guy Jalen Hurts. This is the first game. This is the first player, Josh Allen, in NFL history with 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in the same game. He is quarterback 2 in fantasy. What do you think about this performance, Max? And is Josh Allen the MVP right now?
I'm going to say yes to the MVP. Okay, he's doing things that I was not expecting. Cobrizi, at the beginning of the season, we're doing divisional breakdowns. I even said I don't think the Bills are going to make the playoffs, and this was the reason being is because I was like, who's he going to throw it to? Like, what, he's just going to keep tossing it to Dalton Kincaid? Turns out he's not even using Dalton Kincaid. No. He's using everyone on the field. Just goes to show you not only the great coaching staff that the Bills have, but also how dynamic Josh Allen is, who he can throw to anybody, and then, just rush it wherever he wants, take a hit. He just stays strong.
Big body.
Josh Allen is just a very exciting football player to watch. That was one of the best games I've seen from a quarterback. I got to watch that game here. It was a lot of fun. Oh, my goodness.
Josh Allen's awesome. I think he's the MVP right now. I think if I got to throw 2 more names in there, I'll throw Saquon Barkley in there. I know running backs don't get it, but he's having a hell of a year.
Yep.
And I'll maybe throw Lamar Jackson in there now.
Yeah.
What are the Ravens? 8-5? 8-5, a little disappointing, Baltimore, but they go on a run here. Lamar, Derrick Henry, they can be in that discussion. Another Hades 3-headed dog. Green Bay Packer, your guy Josh Jacobs at Detroit. 34-31 loss. Another losing effort here. 18 carries for Josh Jacobs for only 66 yards, but those 3 rushing touchdowns. We're supposed to be afraid of the Detroit run defense. We're supposed to be nervous about them. Your other guy, Kenneth Walker, put up a Hades 3-headed dog earlier in the season against Detroit. A lot of injuries. For the Lions defensively, but still respectable run defense. For Josh Jacobs to put these kind of numbers up, impressive. He's RB7 on the season, 7 rushing touchdowns in the last 3 games. He has over 20 fantasy points in 4 straight and 6 of the last 7 after not hitting 20 fantasy points in any of the first 6 games of the season. This guy is rolling, getting people to the playoffs. What do you got for me on Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs is unreal, man. This is the reason he was one of my keepers. Okay, I knew going to Green Bay that he's gonna be back to the old Josh Jacobs that we were expecting. I said that he was gonna have a closer to that 300 touch season where he had, I think it was 1,600 yards when he was playing for the Raiders, compared to the following season where he ends up, only getting like 800 yards or something like that, half of that. I said that it's gonna be closer to that than it would be to his last season, because Green Bay loves to use the running back, and Josh Jacobs is a very, very good running back. Okay. If you were sleeping on him this year, I'm glad that I was not. Okay. This guy, dude, he has in the past 3 weeks, he has 2 Hades 3-headed dogs. I wasn't there for the one you guys were discussing when he took on San Francisco, but he's one of the best running backs in the league. You already said top 7. Hey, expect him to continue to roll all the way up into the playoffs coming for the Green Bay Packers, because the Packers still gotta fight. They have a great record, but you still got to keep going here. They're going to be using Josh Jacobs like crazy.
Josh Jacobs, he's matchup proof. Put him in your lineup every week. Max, is he going to be a keeper? Keeper again next season.
It's so funny because I drafted Kenneth Walker thinking that I'm like, oh, the youth, I might be using Kenneth Walker. No way, dude. Josh Jacobs is the man. He's like, to me, it seems like he's almost getting better. It's almost like he's getting better now, especially in this season. We'll see. But it's too soon to talk keeper, but he's definitely in the discussion.
I love the move from the shit-sniffing Raiders to the Packers. I love the move. Last Hades 3-headed dog we had to talk about, Minnesota Viking, Jordan Addison versus the Falcons. 42-21 win, the only player that won out of these 3. Jordan Addison had 12 targets. He had 8 catches for $133 and 3. This is his second 30-point fantasy game in the last 3 weeks. He had 8 catches for 162 and 1 against your Bears in Chicago. Justin Jefferson in this game had 7 catches for $132 and 2. They became the first Vikings teammates to record 100-plus receiving yards and 2+ receiving touchdowns in the same game. Sam Darnold, he's going to get paid this offseason. Sam Darnold's earning some money. Jordan Addison, he's now wide receiver 20 in full PPR leagues on ESPN, playing the Bears, who he just railed a couple weeks ago, at Seattle and Green Bay. Max, he was on your bench for this one. Is he now going to be in your lineup for these next 3?
Absolutely, man. I got him in my lineup this week going against Chicago. How do you not start Jordan Addison? Not only from the Hades 3-headed dog that he just had, but again, the last time that he faced Chicago, 8 catches on 9 targets, 162 yards, and a tutty. Okay, he's in your lineup, boys. He is in your lineup, hopefully for the rest of the season. Actually, for my team, yeah, I'm going to have him in there for the rest of the season.
That was a bad drop by Kelly. She had Jordan Addison for a while, dropped him.
Thank you.
Along with Cortland Sutton, Kelly made a couple rough drops at the wide receiver position. Got a little impatient. Max, I noticed you got the hat on. Do you have a window open or anything?
It's cold. It is cold in here.
I think I heard something.
Oh,
you got a window open? Oh, I thought so. We got our Gooses. We got our Gooses back. Our fantasy football Gooses is when you start a defense or a player in your lineup. They give you zero or negative points. We keep track of this all season. The 2024 Goose Wrangler, we're going to have to give an update here at the end. 2 defenses this week to talk about. First one, our buddy Zach. Oh, Zach, that's 5 for Zach now. 5 Gooses on the season for Zach. This one from the Arizona defense. -4 points at home versus Seattle. 30-18 loss. I had the Cardinals in that game. I'm disappointed in Arizona. I think they're done. That's Seattle and the Rams' division to go for right now. This very easily could have been a triple goosey for Zach, Max. You know, me and Zach were playing, so I'm watching the matchup. We were playing. Winner gets in the playoffs. He beats me. Shout out, Zach. Good win. But this very easily could have been a triple goosey for Zach. Amir Abdullah, who, yes, I know him because he went to Notre Dame, but he plays for the Raiders. Amir Abdullah, he had a goose late into the fourth. He caught it. He caught a pass late. He had 0.3 points, 0.3. And then Jonnu Smith, Zach's tight end for the Miami Dolphins, he had a goose going into overtime. He had a regulation goose. And then he goes off 3 catches, a touchdown, and fucking overtime.
Oh, my gosh. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Bullshit.
That's ridiculous.
Bullshit. So, damn it, Zach, I ain't never seen a triple goosey that close that didn't happen. Arizona, they're the 12th ranked defense now in fantasy. They're playing the Patriots, at Carolina, at the Rams. If you're Zach Max, are you hanging on to the Arizona defense for your fantasy playoffs?
Oh, man. Anytime that I see a defense give me a goose, I'm definitely looking another direction. I always do. That's just me. That's just personally me. Arizona's had some good games this year. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely be looking for something different. Okay. Something broke down last week against Seattle. And Seattle's not that good of an offense, just so we're clear. They're really not that good. Okay. You see DK, you see Njigba, you see Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet. You're like, oh, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. But I think it's because the offensive line sucks.
Could be. Yeah, definitely see what defenses are available out there. If you had another one, I think you can start them against the Patriots, maybe against the Panthers. Panthers are coming up a little bit, but definitely not against the Rams. But see who's available. See who's available. You got to stream those defenses this time of the season.
Yep.
Another defense we got to talk about, our buddy Nick Smith with his 3rd goose of the season. The Miami Dolphins defense got him. They goosed him versus the Jets in a 32-26 overtime win. Miami won this game, and their defense fucking goosed. And this is a special goose, Max, one we really like because it was a pickup goose. Nick picked up this defense the day before.
The best kind of goose.
Nice, stinky pickup goose. Back-to-back gooses for the Miami defense and 3rd on the season. They're ranked 23rd at Houston, San Francisco, at Cleveland. Get them out of here. You agree?
Oh, yeah. No, thanks. Again, when a defense gives me a goose, see you later. All right, I don't want to deal with that. No, bye.
Quick Goose Wrangler leaderboard update at the top is myself. Damn it, a lot of guys getting hurt for me this year, but I got 6. Zach's right behind me with 5. Wilson, he's been the Goose Wrangler before. He's right there at 4. I sniffed that he could come up here in these last couple of weeks. But Max, I only got you down for 2. And the only 2
Andrews. Mark Andrews, back-to-back Goosey. Back-to-back Goosey.
Trevor and Bobby, 2 guys in our league. They've no gooses. Nice, very impressive.
Nice. Bobby makes the playoffs. Trevor did not.
That is interesting. Max, let's finish up some fantasy football talk here with our Week 15 Extra Juicy Dawgs. This is where we give everybody a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end that you can fire up in your fantasy matchups. Maybe it's a must-start guy that's going to finish number 1 at the position. Maybe it's a guy later in the rankings that you can feel comfortable throwing in your flex. And we give touchdown guarantees. And Max, we haven't updated our My Buddy Mr. Tutty guarantees this season. So let's get a quick update on that. At the bottom of the standings, our boy Alex Triple, 0 for 1, buddy. 0 for 1. We got to get that up. It was Jamar Chase too. Missed on that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was too nervous to guarantee George Kittle in that game, who had 2 or 3 tutties, if you remember.
Yeah.
At the top of the leaderboard, also only making 1 selection, was our guy Jack Alvarado, who snuck in there with Joe Mixon. So 1 for 1, 100%. But Max, you and I are right there tight. I've had more bites at the apple, as usual. I'm 7 for 20. You're 7 for 18, so you got me on the percentage right now. But it's close. It's close heading into Week 15. Why don't you lead us off with your extra juicy dog at the quarterback position for Week 15?
Let's do it. So, Cobrizi, I'm going to toss out a name that we usually talk about because we like to make fun of him a lot. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt because he has a good matchup. I'm going Aaron Rodgers against Jacksonville. All right. They're at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's ranked 32nd against quarterbacks, ranked 32nd dead last. Okay. No doubt has Aaron Rodgers had a queef year. Okay. This is leading into his retirement, by the way. Okay. I think that he might be done this season.
Yeah.
He's just getting old. It doesn't look that great. But he's got a couple more games in him. All right. He's not going to go out without a fight. It can't just be a complete queef the rest of the season. Last week, he had 339 yards, a tutty, 20 fantasy points in our league. Okay,
Solid.
not too bad. If he feeds Garrett Wilson's Devontae Adams, he's going to be good. He's going to be good against Jacksonville, especially because I see right now on a few of our, some people that have like Justin Herbert. I know he's questionable right now. If you need to stream a quarterback, it might be Aaron Rodgers as your top option. He's available in he's only rostered 42.6% in our league. It's probably going to be close to the same around your guys' leagues. So if you need him, throw him in there. But it's only if you absolutely have to. But he's got a good matchup. All right.
Yeah, Ayahuasca Rodgers has a great matchup, dead last against the quarterback position. The Jags are. But yeah, I'm with you, Max. It might be his last season. Might be the last time we're seeing Aaron. The Jets don't want him back. Jets already came out and said we don't want you. I don't know who will want him. Right now, the Achilles tears and old quarterbacks, they're 2-0. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, not looking good. Not looking good. My extra juicy dog at the quarterback position for week 15. Gonna be Miami Dolphin, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, he's back.
He's quarterback 21 on the season, but he missed 4 games.
Yeah.
Quarterback 8 in points per game. Solid. But over his last 4 games, oh baby, he's been on fire. 11 touchdowns to 0 interceptions over his last 4.
Very good.
At least 23.5 fantasy points in all 4 of those. Miami, they're 2.5-point road underdogs in Houston. This one's going to be a good one. They're going to have to be throwing. 46.5-point over-under is tied for 3rd highest on the week. Going to be some points here. And Houston, they're 23rd against the quarterback position in fantasy football. Bobby, he's been riding that Dolphin dynasty, that Dolphin, the 3-headed monster with Achane and Tyreek Hill. And now that Tua's back, he's riding right into the playoffs and maybe the Final Four. I got Tua this week.
I like it. I like Tua. I'm glad that he's back, everybody. Really glad to see he's playing. For me, let's go ahead and move on to the running back position, Cole Breezy. And now this guy that I have, he shocked me this season. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say Aaron Jones of Minnesota. Okay, Aaron Jones taking on Chicago. Chicago's ranked 25th against the rush. I mean, I was projecting him to be the queef of this division. I think, actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't me. It was one of you guys, but I also had him written down, and then we were like, oh, pick someone else. But he just showed us that, hey, he's the Aaron Jones he used to be in Green Bay. This is Aaron Jones, okay? He only has 6 total touchdowns this year with 4 on the ground, but he has 893 rushing yards. Go Brizzy, I think that he's going to break 1,000 in this game. I think he's going to get over 100 rushing yards and break 1,000 yards in the game against Chicago. And you know what? Why not go Breezy? My buddy Mr. Tutty. He's going to get in the end zone against Chicago.
Hello.
Chicago blows.
Chicago blows. How much are they losing by?
Man, probably at least 2 touchdowns. At least.
Good. My extra juicy dog at the running back position for week 15. Gonna be Carolina Panther, Chuba Hubbard. Excuse me. Running back 12 on the season, Max.
Big year.
My sleeper coming in the division. Trevor, you're welcome. He comes on the pod. He freaking drafts him 12th round, one of the best picks in all of fantasy this year. Chuba Hubbard, he's tied for 7th in the NFL with 215 carries. He is 6th in the NFL with 1,011 rushing yards. You want to talk about that 1,000 mark for Aaron Jones? Only 6 players have 1,000 rushing yards this season. Chuba's one of them. And he's also tied for 9th in the NFL with 8 rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Brooks, unfortunately, the 2nd-round pick out of Texas, he was working his way back into the fold. Unfortunately, he re-tore that ACL. Damn it.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, he re-tore that ACL, but that only means more touches for Chuba, more opportunities for Chuba Hubbard. The Panthers, they're 2.5-point home favorites over Dallas. Carolina's favored over the Cowgirls. I love that. Dallas, they're 29th against the running back position in fantasy football. They've allowed 21 rushing touchdowns this season. That is the most in the NFL. They're going to allow another. Chuba Hubbard getting in the end zone against the Cowboys this week.
I like it. Chuba, what a year. What a year for this guy. Great pick by you, by the way, when you brought him up in the beginning of the season of him being a sleeper. What a great year he's having.
RB12.
Wow. Moving on to the wide receiver, everybody. And you know what? I know I'm bashing on my Bears, but I am going to go with one guy. I'm going DJ Moore. Okay, DJ Moore at Minnesota. Minnesota is ranked 32nd dead last against wide receivers. Dead last. Okay, and which is surprising because Minnesota's actually got a pretty decent defense, but against the receivers, doing absolutely terrible. Now, DJ Moore last game against Minnesota, he had 7 catches on 7 targets, 106 yards, and a touchdown. That's 24.2 fantasy points. He's been averaging at least 7 targets, even in this crap offense. Okay, the offense sucks. Caleb Williams is trying to chuck it. I think last week we only had like 7 total yards in the first half, and then they woke up a little bit. But hey, he's the number 1 option. He is. Okay, so they're going to feed him. And, after having a great game against Minnesota the last game, I'm going to go ahead and say my buddy Mr. Tutty for DJ Moore. Let's get in the end zone. Wow. You got the great matchup for it. Hey, right now, DJ Moore has 104 targets this season. He's got 68 catches of those 104. I'm projecting this guy to get at least 85 catches. I think he's got 20, maybe 20 more catches in him. So, hey, if you got DJ Moore, check out these matchups because you should be starting them.
Nice. You got him in your flex, if I'm not mistaken.
As of right now, I do.
Oh, as of right now, might be a little tinker stinker there Sunday morning.
We'll see.
My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position for Week 15. Going to be Buffalo Bill Khalil Shakir. Wide receiver 22 in full PPR leagues. Also one of my sleepers from the divisional pods in the preseason. 13th round pick. That's a great pick, whoever got him. Khalil Shakir, he has 65 receptions on the season. That is tied for 15th in the NFL. He's Josh Allen's number 1 guy. You can say it's Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper, I think, has been over 4 receptions for the Bills once. Khalil Shakir's done that 7 or 8 times this year. Khalil Shakir, we want to talk about, he is spreading it around. He is spreading it around to everybody, but Shakir, number 1 guy. He's coming off 106 yards and a tutty at the Rams last week, getting into a nice little rhythm here with Josh. Buffalo, they're 2.5-point road underdogs in this game in Detroit. Bills, Lions. I love this game. 54.5-point over-under, easily the highest on the week. That's the highest I've seen in a couple weeks. It's supposed to be a shootout here. Detroit, 24th against the wide receiver position in fantasy football. And last week, he had that touchdown in L.A. That was his first touchdown since week 3. He hasn't had a touchdown since week 3 until last week. And he's only got 3 on the season. And when you got that, damn it, I can't guarantee. I want to guarantee 1 for Khalil. I do. But when you got 3 on the season, only 1 since week 3, he's a possession guy. He's a Keenan Allen guy. I like Khalil Shakir, wide receiver 22 on the season. Good pick by whoever got him.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Moving on to the tight end, Cole Breezy. Okay. Big time name. I think he's really woken up. He's on my fantasy team. I'm going David Njoku. David Njoku taking on Kansas City. Kansas City's ranked 30th against tight ends this season. Cole Breezy, you got to hear these numbers from David Njoku these past 2 games. 2 games ago, 9 catches on 17 targets. Only 52 yards, but 2 touchdowns. That's 21.7 fantasy points. That was a Monday miracle for me, everybody. That was awesome. That was awesome. Last week, he had 7 catches on 13 targets, 42 yards, and an additional tutty. Okay, that's 13.7 fantasy points in our league. Go Breezy. I know right now they're saying he's questionable. He's missed 2 practices in a row. He's got a little tight hamstring. I think that he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be fine. If he is available, obviously you have him in your lineup because I'm calling another my buddy Mr. Tutty. Let's keep it rolling. 3 touchdowns in the past 2 games. What's his name? Loves them. Jameis Winston loves them. When you look at these targets, 30 targets in the last 2 games. You kidding me? You better have him in your lineup. And come on, let's get him in the end zone. He's a great target in the end zone, man. He's huge and he's athletic. He jumps up to get the ball. Love David Njoku.
Must be greedy season over there in Nashville. 3
I missed a couple weeks. I missed a couple weeks on these, my buddy, Mr. Tutty. Come on.
I like Njoku. 30 targets over the last two games. Show me a tight end that's doing that. Please show me a tight end that's doing that. I tried to get him from you about 6 weeks ago. Maybe you weren't wanting to let him go.
You traded me Tyler Algier.
Wasn't Charbonnet?
Tyler, I think you threw both of them in there. Tyler Algier and Charbonnet for backup. I said no, I'm not giving up Njoku.
That's fair. Yeah, 3 tight ends.
Should have asked for Kraft. For Kraft.
I could go get Kraft right now if I want him.
I dropped him.
Still top 10 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, he's doing great.
Crazy. Finishing up the extra juicy dogs here with my tight end for this week. Oh, I'm getting greasy. I'm getting nasty. I'm getting filthy. I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to the Cowboys. Jake Turd Ferguson. He's missed 3 games this year, Max. What do you think he's ranked tight end full PPR leagues? He's missed 3 games.
15th.
25th. 25th
Oh,
for Turd
even
Ferguson.
worse. Oh my
So
goodness.
why the hell am I talking about him right now? Why
Why?
why would
Yeah,
I
tell
bring
me.
him?
Tell
Why
me
would
why.
I put him in here? It's because the Carolina Panthers, they're dead last, 32nd against the tight end position in fantasy football. It is a funnel in the middle to the tight end position. Jake Ferguson, he returned from a concussion this past Monday night. He was a focal point of the offense. Only CD Lamb had more targets than Ferguson. So Cooper Rush, he's looking for him.
Hmm.
Dallas, like I said, is 2.5 point road underdogs in Carolina. That's crazy to me. Jake, he has not scored a touchdown this season. He's got a goose for tutties. But Carolina has given up 24 passing touchdowns this season. That's bottom five in the league.
Oh, come on, CD. That's all I got to say.
CD can get one, but damn it, I'm getting nasty. I'm getting greasy. Give me a my buddy, Mr. Tutty, for
Oh
Jake
my
fucking Turd
goodness. I don't know.
Ferguson.
I don't know
I'm
if I
looking
agree
at
with you.
some of the names I got on this list for touchdown guarantees this year, and it's just filthy. I had Mike Gusicki one fucking week, so I might be right there again. But Jake Turd Ferguson against the Panthers, he's gonna sniff the end zone. He's gonna sniff the end zone. He might get drugged down at the one, but he might get in there too.
I'll put a goose closer to a tutty.
Definitely could be a goose this week. Definitely could be a goose this week. Max, let's finish up this week's episode with one college basketball game pick. Let's just make one here. And I want to go to Saturday night, 6 o'clock Mountain Time on Fox, the Hall of Fame series at Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
We got number 8 Gonzaga playing number 18 Connecticut. Let's go look at Gonzaga here. They're 7-2. Their 2 losses were against West Virginia.
Where's
In
Virginia?
my mom's alma mater. They lost to him in the battle for Atlantis by 8, and then they lost to Kentucky and Seattle in overtime by 1 last Saturday. That was a good one. I missed it, but it was a good one. Gonzaga, 6 guys, averaging double figures, led by senior Graham Ike, 15.5 points, 7 boards, 53% shooting from the field. Ryan Nembhard, he's controlling that offense. He leads the nation with 10.7 assists per game.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let's look at UConn real quick. They're 7-3, all 3 losses in the Maui. They lost to Memphis by 2 in overtime. Colorado Buffaloes got them by 1. We were talking a lot of shit about Colorado, and they ended up beating UConn. And then UConn also lost in the 7th place game to Dayton by 18. Dayton ran them boys off the floor. But they bounced back, UConn has, nicely by beating Baylor at home and winning at Texas by 11. 2 solid wins right there.
Very good.
4 guys averaging double figures, led by junior Alex Caravan. Numbers are coming down a bit. 16.5 points, 5 boards, 3.5 assists, 2 blocks. Shooting 49% from the floor, 83% from the line, 48% from deep. What do you think about this Gonzaga-UConn matchup in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden?
Juicy matchup. It's good to see that UConn's coming around again. They'll be there. You know, I know they have that slow start, but Gonzaga looks like a legit team. You know what's really fun, real quick, just bringing up college basketball in general, is that every team is losing. You know, like everyone is getting their losses right now, so it makes you feel like there's no real front runner to win. I know Tennessee's undefeated. I understand that, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not sold on Tennessee. Okay, I like Tennessee. I live in the state of Tennessee, but I'm not sold on them yet. So I wouldn't even say that they're the front runner. So it's been really fun. But this Gonzaga UConn matchup, you know, UConn's gonna bring it. In fact, they kind of have a closer home court than obviously Gonzaga would.
Very much.
But if I gotta go ahead and make
a
exactly. But if I'm gonna go ahead and make a pick, I am gonna go Gonzaga. I think they're bigger. I think they're scrappier. I think they have. I think they just have the better guys. I think Alex Caravan is legit. I told you guys that. I think he's going to be on the Big East team, potential All-American first team. But I think Gonzaga's got this, Cole Breezy.
This is going to be a great game, like you said. UConn is going to have a bit of a home court advantage in this one. Both teams they share the ball. Both teams are top 7 in the nation in assists. Both teams are top 7 in the nation in assists. Gonzaga, 19.7 assists. UConn, 20.2. UConn's also averaging 90.2 points per game. That is 3rd in the nation. And they're blocking 7 blocks a game. That is 1st in the nation. 3rd in scoring, 3rd in assists, 1st in the nation, even with those 3 losses, the UConn Huskies. But, Max, I'm with you. I'm going Gonzaga. I don't know if I like him. I think I might love him. Ryan Nembhard,
Yeah.
Braden Smith is up there also, but we might have to make a top 5 point guard list. Ryan Nembhard's
those are the top 2 right now. I'll tell you right now.
Might be. Like I said, Gonzaga is 7th in the nation in assists. They're 5th in the nation in turnovers, so that assist to turnover ratio, my goodness. And they're hitting 81% of their free throws. That is tied for 7th in the nation. I think Gonzaga, they got more size, more experience, more playmaking. And I like Mark Few, and let's not forget, I got Gonzaga in my Final Four from the preseason. So I've liked them all season. Yep. I think they'd get this one done in Madison Square Garden, just like you. Maxie, that's going to do us this week for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. A good one. Mostly football, a little bit of college football, some NFL. We got to get back in some more fantasy football with our playoffs coming in. Congratulations to you for making the playoffs again, damn it.
Thank you. Feels so good. Feels so good to be 8-6, get the 3 seed. It's going to be a fun matchup against Zach this week. I can't wait.
You and Zach. I'm going to be watching that one for sure. Congrats to everybody who made their playoffs. And obviously, I'm congratulating everybody. I didn't make the playoffs. I'm a queef. 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. No tears. Bad keepers. Guys not wanting to. Jonathan Taylor, I'll call you out right now. Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne. 2 rough keepers. Those were big dogs last year. Jonathan Taylor was hurt again last year, but
he heated up at the end. He did.
And Travis Etienne had a solid year last year, but there's going to be some changes for me, Bax. There's going to be some changes for me, but I just gotta avoid that Waffle House challenge. That's all I'm thinking about right now. 2 weeks, and we'll know.
Oh my goodness, Cole Breezy. I feel so bad for you after bashing on Zach about a potential triple Goosey last week, and you still lost to him.
Lost.
My goodness. Goodness. You sure you didn't have any tears? You sure?
No.
I know you were frustrated. You were sweating. You were definitely sweating.
I'm a queef.
At least you're honest with yourself.